Round two, game four. Ladies and gentlemen, Leafs Nation, I am not overly impressed with not only the result of tonight and the fact that you're going back to Toronto 2-2, because that sucks as is, and it sucks walking away having lost both in Florida. And they talk about how it's not a series until someone loses at home, so I guess it's not a series, I guess, if that's the case, because you're going to go back into now best 2 out of 3 where you do have home ice. But I'm frustrated with the way that this game went down. I sent a text earlier into the group chat with Vic and Rosie and Nick, and I said, this game tonight was reminiscent of Game 5 against Ottawa, and maybe not as intensely frustrating, but to a similar level as Game 4 against the Boston Bruins last year. We'll break it all down here tonight, a presentation of Bet365. We'll be joined by Jay Rosehill a little bit later on, but we will be joined here right off the top live from Amarant Bank Arena, as Nick Alberga failed to say the other day, I believe it was. Stephen Ellis. Stephen, welcome to the After Dark show here tonight. I appreciate you taking the time to do this live from the press box down there in Sunrise, Florida.
I might just watch there. I know so much is going to be talked about that first period and all the penalties and stuff, but that felt like about as perfect of a game that we've seen the Florida Panthers play this year. And Toronto's on the outside looking in now.
So let's kind of attack this from a couple different angles. Let's start with what you just said about Florida playing their best game there, probably of the postseason, definitely of this series here so far. Was this just too much for the Leafs to handle? If you're looking at it from that case, were there things that they just exploited? Like, what did you make of Florida's game here tonight that they did differently than what we've seen through the first couple of games? Was it just execution? Was it a new game plan, strategy of attack? Like, why was it that it was so good, so positive for the Panthers here tonight?
Well, Florida, you look at the top guys on that team. You look at Aaron Ekblad, you look at Seth Jones, and they've got that offensive ability. But the big thing about this group is how defensively strong they are. Mm-hmm. And they were forcing Toronto to play to the outside. Like, you look at the advanced analytics of this game, Toronto had almost nothing going for them the entire time. And that was because Florida was basically just shutting them out. They were not letting them get close to Sergei Bobrovsky. And you look at what Florida's been able to do all series. They've been parking themselves right in front of the Leafs crease. Anthony Stolarz knows that better than anyone at this point. But the ability to go out there and make it so Austin Matthews and Mitch Marner and William Nylander are having to play from the perimeter, you can't score when you're doing that. And Bobrovsky, you look at the stats, a lot of those games where he went on to win the Stanley Cup last year and go to the final of the year before that, a lot of those games he faced 20, 21, 22 shots. And that's because Florida just shut things down. They didn't allow any high danger opportunities. And then Bobrovsky, they took the pressure off of him. Like, you look at the way Bob has played in this series, there's been a lot of really bad performances. Like, he had the worst goal saved above expected in the second round heading into tonight. But when you make it so that there's not a lot of high danger chances, he's going to have a much easier night. He can handle that. He's quick. He's athletic. And you see the performance there. So to me, you look at that defense, you look at that goaltending, a huge step up from what we saw in any of the games in the series, even like Game 3 when they won that first.
Okay, so let's go to the other side of this here. And, I mean, that's kind of one of my biggest frustrations of tonight. This felt like this was the worst game the Leafs have played in this postseason, period. Like, this to me, I know the score is not going to reflect it there, but just maybe given the expectations, or maybe not the expectations, the opportunities that you had here tonight to take control of this series, be up 3-1 going back home, and just kind of give yourself that little bit of extra cushion, and then showing up the way that you did, the 4 first period penalties. This felt like the worst game the Leafs have played in this postseason. Would you agree with that?
That 4-0 Ottawa Senators game would definitely be in the conversation there. Yeah. But when you look at this is one where they started on the, like, hey, good on them. They only allowed the 1 goal in those 4 penalty kills. The penalty kill played quite well. They were also lucky that Florida kind of were missing a lot of passes there, but that was too much start-stop hockey for them, and they didn't kind of find their mojo until late in the second period. That's too late to start being the better team. And again, they weren't even the better team for much there. So it's you look at the last game and you say, okay, Joseph Woll just need to be 5% better, and the Leafs win that game. It's a 3-0 series. They potentially close it out tonight. He was like 70, 80% better than he was last game, and it didn't matter in the end because nobody was scoring goals. And shockingly, you can't win a game when you don't score goals, but we're not even creating high danger opportunities. That's what happens there. So you
Yeah,
look at this team, just like what's happened to Austin Matthews, Bobby McMahon. Like, do you sit him next game and bring in Nick Robertson just to change things? Like, I know you want that size, but
I know.
it's just it's not working out there.
I know that is like it was what Jeff had asked me earlier today on the sheet. Do you switch that up? Do you change out a McMahon or a Holmberg and put in Nick Robertson? At this point, like I don't, I honestly would probably be willing to try something to switch it up because you've seen Berube shift McMahon throughout the entire lineup. You ended up seeing him take him off the power play here tonight and play William Nylander for the entire 2-minute power play, and it's just like you can't find a way to get this guy going at all right now for whatever reason. It is a frustrating thing. If you are the coach, Stephen Ellis, do you put in Nick Robertson? Are there other lineup changes that you make? Because the other one that I will point out here tonight, Mitch Marner moved off the first line for a brief period. It was very brief. And William Nylander jumped up and joined Austin Matthews on the first line. Do you make any lineup adjustments? Do you just do minor tinkering? Like, what do you do going into the next game?
I don't think you kind of blow things up. You don't change too much. Like, I think you want Nick Robertson there because this is a guy that, yeah, he could be inconsistent and he can have his flaws, but in small spurts, he can be as good as anyone on this Toronto Maple Leafs team. And you look at this as a guy who knows how to score. He knows how to battle hard. And I'd say sitting out as much as he has, he's got more motivation than ever to go out there and perform. So you go and get that momentum. I think that makes a big difference there. Maybe you take out Kelly Arncroc. Maybe you take out Bobby McMahon. I'm not sure if they'll do either of those, but you know, defensively, there was a few times in that game you looked at like, oh man, Morgan Rally, you got to keep that in the zone, or Matthew Nyes. I think a few times early in the game he was trying to be way too aggressive and like he was trying to fight Gustav Forsling when he really didn't need to. Like there were some individual plays there that looked like they were frustrated. I don't know if this is a blow it up and try something new here in this next game though. But I do like when they did make the Nylander Marner swap. I did think they looked good there.
Okay, couple things here goalie wise, and then I'll let you go. I appreciate you doing this here in the press box in Sunrise, and then we're gonna get to Rosie and we'll see. I feel like Leafs Nation at this point is waiting for him to come on here and like have his head explode. So we'll see if that's the case coming up in a little bit. But Steven, let's start with Leafs goaltending. Joseph Woll obviously plays a much better game here tonight. If it's not for him through the first 40 of this game tonight, I mean, it probably is 4-0, 5-0. Who knows? I haven't looked at the danger chances here or how those things played out or the expected goals at all, so I can't tell you from that standpoint, but it just felt like one of those where it could have been a blowout right away. But Joseph Woll single-handedly gave this team an opportunity. Do you think this was him finding his mojo, and do you think this is sustainable for him to carry through? Like, has he found his form now, and they can kind of rely on this as you go into game 5, 6, potentially 7?
So much of good goaltending comes down to the mental side of things. And talking to a lot of goalie experts, they point out that Joseph Woll is very good at like, okay, I had a bad game. I'm going to fight back the next game. Like I believe it was, go to January, the last time he lost back-to-back starts. And so he has been really good in those back-to-back. Obviously tonight changed, but it wasn't his fault there. And you look at the expected goals for percentage at 505, you're looking at about 70% to 30%. So Florida kind of dominated in that case. Like it could have easily been a 4-0, 5-0 game, like you said there. So when I look at Woll, that's the game he needed to have to prove to not only himself, but the rest of the team, like, okay, I could do this. I will also point out there was a lot fewer times where Florida tried to dump the puck and Woll came out to chase it. That was something that really made him look uncomfortable in the last game that didn't seem to be a concern today.
There's a comment in the chat if you want to know where Leafs Nation is at right now about how this thing went. Sam Bennett is on a date with Austin Matthews' wife right now.
Hey, I'll point out kind of surprisingly, I went to the Florida Panthers store. I found nothing at all for Sam Bennett.
Really? There's nothing. They all know he's gone next year.
Like,
don't
no
buy
display, nothing.
Yeah, interesting. Last thing here, I'll ask you on the other side of things. The other goaltender, did the Maple Leafs wait too long to pounce, cut the head off the dragon, slay him while he was a little bit weak, and goalie Bob has found his form here? Is it over? Is the guy hot? It's done. Like is he awoken now? awaken. I don't know what the word is.
Recent history would suggest, this is kind of the same type of story. He'll have a bad game or two, he'll bounce back, and he could be unstoppable the rest of the series. And talking to producer Vic here earlier, we were saying like it was hard to find situations where they had like 2 good chances in a row. Like they were not doing anything sustained there.
Yeah.
They were not getting the rebounds. They weren't doing anything like that, and they made it too easy for him. So they got to go out there and crash the net a little harder. And Austin Matthews needs to figure out how to start shooting the puck again and make it harder for him, because Bobrovsky is one of the older goalies in this playoffs. He is a beatable goalie. He has shown he can struggle. The numbers prove that this year. But then he goes out and steals games like this. You just can't afford to let that happen again.
All right, Steven, I appreciate you taking the time to do this. I don't want to keep you for too long there. I know you guys are all exhausted. This has been a long weekend for you. So I appreciate you, and I know that you've got to get up early because you've got World Championship hockey to watch. Is that the case?
I'll be watching all 4 games, I believe, on my flight home tomorrow. So I'm hoping the internet's good on that flight.
All right, Steven. Thanks for doing this. I appreciate it. You enjoy the rest of your night and safe flight home tomorrow.
Yeah, thanks so much.
All right, there you go. Steven Ellis, Daily Faceoff, hopping on here post-game to help us break this thing down. We will be joined in a moment by the man, the myth, the legend, Jay Rosehill. We'll see where he's at in this post-game because, you know, it's probably good for my mental health here right away to have Steven come on first, because I think if it was just me and I opened up while I was waiting for Rosie to join, that the last 10, 12 minutes of this postgame would have likely been just my head exploding here on camera. But I have at least had 13 minutes of runtime live here on the postgame show to at least like talk that out with Steven, who came on here pretty level-headed and helped us break this thing down. We'll see where Rosie's at because, you know, I'll continue to break it down. I'll continue to give my thoughts on this game here tonight because there is an element of frustration for this game tonight. I think the biggest reason for me comes in the opportunity that you had, whether it was last game there, and we talked about some of the frustrations with Woll, or, you know, another chance here tonight for the boys to figure it out and go back up 3-1. Like, those kinds of things do piss me off a little bit, just knowing what you had available to you. And again, like, not the same or not the exact same, but this is one of those games that reminds me of Game 5 against Ottawa with the opportunity you had at hand. The Game 4 last year, the one where Rosie came on and basically said every single thing myself and the rest of Leafs Nation was feeling after that game, just knowing where you were at in the series. Chance to tie it up 2-2, and they basically came out and laid an egg and went down 3-1. Now, I know the series is at 2-2 here, and I know it's not over and you're not chasing this thing, but given who the opponent is and given who the goaltender is and just kind of what it feels like you've done here, opening up the door for the Florida Panthers to kind of creep their way in and now all of a sudden give you a scare, because you know what's going to happen to an extent there on Wednesday night in Scotiabank Arena against the Panthers is that you're going to get a nervous, kind of uncomfortable crowd in there, just given the history of this team and the situation that they've now put themselves in. Like, those things are going to be the case, and it wouldn't have been if in this game here tonight you came out flying, you played your best hockey, you played like you were here for keeps, and it could have been very, very different. So that is a very frustrating thing for me here. I do want to get to our next guest, and as we do so, it is a quick reminder that our next guest is brought to you by a very special segment to the chat here, because every single time I bring it up, the people have referred to me now as the Krispy guy. I don't know why. I think it's maybe just because we include it on the show so much and maybe some of the other shows that we're part of, but they're calling me at this point the Krispy guy. It is now time for the Ninja Krispy hotline, presented by the Ninja Krispy 4-in-1 portable glass air fryer.
Meet the first of its kind, the Ninja Krispy portable cooking system. The power of a full-sized air fryer in the palm of your hand, so you can cook big or small batches. Just prep it, crisp it, serve it, and store it all in one.
It is an all-in-one system that includes 4-quart, 6-cup 4 quart, 6 cup, tempered glass containers and 2 storage lids. And Ninja Crispy is thermal shock resistant, can go from frozen to crispy in minutes. With the Crispy Power Pod, you get the power of a full-sized air fryer in the palm of your hands. The 4 quart container fits 4 pounds of chicken or veggies. Cook a personal-sized meal in 7 minutes in the 6 cup container. Max Crisp. Bake, air fry, and re-crisp. But the Ninja Crispy, you can prep, cook, and store anything from crispy favorites to one-dish meals. Visit their website in the link in the description and stay tuned for a chance to win a free Ninja Crispy for one of our lucky fans. With that said, let's now get to the man that everyone has been waiting to hear from tonight, because I know that you guys, as much as you enjoy the post-game show, we're not here for me. You are here for Jay Rosehill. Rosie, how are you feeling following this game tonight?
Fuck. I am incredibly frustrated, man. That was 60 minutes glued to the TV and nothing but frustration. Like nothing, not one goddamn thing but frustration. And a clinic of taking away time and space by the Florida Panthers, and just no answer other than Joseph Woll. The frustrating part as well is that as well as the Panthers played, and all of the, chasing pucks and losing puck battles and bouncing, bobbling pucks and having zero time and space and being kept to the outsides, they got their chances tonight. And you could have been in that game. You could have absolutely been in that game. He absolutely could have been in that game. Backhand, Nyes, before his fucking breakaway. That backhand on the open net, like nothing. How many guys wrapped the glass again? Like missing nets, it's like I've never seen before. And I mean, that's the game. Like they only scored one until, Bennett. And it's just like, it was a masterclass by the Panthers. All people bitching about the refs early on, like all 4 of those, those are penalties. You could argue that maybe on Tanev, when he kind of hit him open ice, kind of from behind, he fell down to his knees. It's not the same as bringing a guy into the boards. That's one, and everyone's bitching about that. They gave you 3 in a row, can't score on a goddamn thing, can't bring any chances. It's just frustration after frustration. I thought they were not working, skating, not moving their feet. They're gliding, just looking for time and space that isn't fucking there, and you're not going to get it unless you work your way out of it. It's tough to go down and lose both, man. That team looks like they woke up, and we can talk about what happened at the very end. I think they're going to be even more pissed off and ready to rock in game 5. So demoralizing is what it fucking was, but you're tied, and you got to keep it in perspective.
Okay, so I know you're tied. I know it's 2-2. Steven kind of, I think, just calmed some of that a little bit. And now, Rosie, unfortunately for maybe you or me, I'm not really sure which one yet, I'm going to go down the negative path here and start to get a little bit dark. Because watching that game, my head was exploding. I'll be really honest with you. That felt from some certain players, Mitch Marner, who wants $14 million in the offseason, and Austin Matthews in particular, like the classic, I don't want to be here because this game is physical and it's playoff hockey type of shit we've seen from these guys year in and year out. I'm sorry, I'm watching Mitch Marner skate to the blue line and basically hit the brakes and say, fuck this, I don't want the puck. I'm watching him not go down the middle of the ice. I'm watching him not want to go inside the hash marks and make plays there and just shooting pucks from the blue line, having them repeatedly blocked. I'm sorry, dude, but you are about 130 pounds soaking wet, and I'm not one to speak, but at least I've got the same fucking build as you, and I'm aware of it. So we're not the type of guys who should be taking soft-ass, pissy-ass pillow fucking one-timers from the blue line down 2 goals with 2 minutes left in the third period because they're getting blocked all game. He just has no interest. He has no fucking interest, Rosie. And then I'm watching Matthews. We make all of this talk about his defensive game and all this shit that he's doing. $13.25 million to play defense we're paying this guy, Rosie. At some point, they've got to show up and they've got to find a way to fucking get on the board and make a difference in these games. I don't even know if you win the game, but you know what I'll say, and you can tell me if I'm looking at things the wrong way, if I have the wrong approach, but William Nylander did not score tonight. And I would have loved him to get on the board. But you know what William Nylander did? He fucking drove the net. He made plays. He tried to get to the middle. He won some battles back. He would go up and down the ice and attack the middle of the ice. JT wasn't afraid to get down below the goal line and get in scrums. You saw him going at Marchand. You saw them getting involved in the play. 34 and 16 are just fucking around with their hands in their pants on their bench, waiting for something good to happen so that they can go out there and be like, well, we played defense tonight. Fuck off. It's time for you to show up in this series. You know, you've got a couple of opportunities here where they've done some good things. But Rosie, outside of that, this game tonight made me sick to my stomach watching that shit where I'm like, you're just doing it again. Sorry.
But the difference, Zach, to me, is that it's not like it was just easy and up for grabs and they just didn't take it. Like, they had fucking nothing. They had no time. They had no space. They couldn't get a flat fucking pass off. They couldn't get numbers. They couldn't get support. The Panthers were fucking everywhere. And there's been losses in the past that you want to fucking pull your hair out, and I've done it before, and it's just because they beat themselves. Like, it was there. But I mean, fuck, that was the only reason it's even a ball game is because of Joseph Woll. And it still wasn't. Yes, I'm pissed off they don't spur on their chances, but they had like 6 chances, it seemed like, all night long, and they probably wrapped the fucking glass on 4 or 5 of them. And the rest of it, you're just stretching out for ball playing pucks, trying to get some semblance of settled down time and space. The Panthers gave them none. And Mitch's game is not fucking suited to play along the walls, big boy, use your body, time and space, gotta muck, dig, and grind. We already know that. Some guys aren't. But I mean, I would just think that, like, even Nathan MacKinnon playing in that game is going to struggle to get anything. It was fucking impossible out there. The only thing is they are a pretty goddamn good team. They did get chances, and that's what drives me nuts, is not fucking bringing their chances. I get the moment gets so big, and I am not one to say how to be clutch. I'd grip my fucking stick with the best of them, but we're not talking about me beating the goddamn Florida Panthers right now. You have to be clutch, and yes, it's 16, but like, he's scored 2 goals from throwing it through traffic, and he's thinking, I'm down 2. I can't dipsy fucking doodle right to the goal line and score when I got to throw some fucking pucks through traffic. So I get that. I'm not ready to burn the thing down. Like, that, you got a masterclass from what we've called from the beginning the best team in fucking hockey. They've woken up, no doubt. Who are our 2 best fucking players? It's our fucking starting goalie. I know Joseph Woll played great tonight, but it's our star goalie, fucking Stolarz, and it's our fucking franchise player, Austin Matthews. Both of them are absent. That's not exactly easy. Put you in this hole to an extent. Absolutely, Joseph Woll gave you a chance to win, but this series could have been completely different, and the momentum and the mindset and everything. And then Matthews what is he running at? 50 fucking percent? 50? Is he at 50%? You have to start weighing, like, what can we get? Like, he can't move. Like, it happened to, like, Draisaitl last year. Like, you can't accomplish so much, and you're still better than the next guy they're going to bring in and put in your spot, but you're going to have that conversation sometime. That's not fucking helping anything. Willie turns on the Jets sometimes, and God, he could have got one. Nicey, that backhand there, it looked like Bob was just totally out of position. He had the open net, couldn't quite get her there. Then he gets an absolute breakaway and just rifles one over the net, which all I saw was pucks missing that. Carlo probably did it 3 times. It's mind-numbing, and it's frustrating, but you got to go home and find that juju again and come out and get them on their heels. I don't know if you've just fired them up and pissed them off at the end of the game, though, but they were being bullied. They were Panthers. I love the way the boys stick up for themselves and have some pushback, and they're not embarrassed out of the barn. They would have been with a performance like that in years past from the Florida Panthers, but we'll see, man. You're going back home. It's a best of 3. Like, I'm not bailing on them now and going to tear it fucking down. There'll be lots of time for that if they get beat, but I'm not doing it after game 4. The series is tied. You knew it was going to be a goddamn war. I'm as frustrated as anybody. But, like, you got to step back and say, okay, where are we at?
Okay, so here's my only issue with what you've said, because I do agree with you, but this is my problem with what you said. That is who the Florida Panthers are. That is what they're going to do in Game 5, in Game 6, if it goes to 7, in Game 7. That's how they're going to play. So, like, my issue with what you said there is effectively like, well, if that's the case, you can't play in this game, and you might as well just call it now because they're going to show up like that. Like, my thing is, like, you've got to find ways, and I know that Nyes had the two chances, I guess, and Nylander had a chance there. But if you can't create opportunities elsewhere and outside of that stuff, and you can't find a way to make your own space within that game, even just that brief moment of opportunity or brief moment that jumps out where you can take control of it, you could take advantage, you can exploit a lane, a mistake, a missed assignment, whatever it may be, then like isn't this all hope lost with these guys? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, they're going. My point is that they're going to play like that again on Wednesday night, and we're effectively looking at it being like, well, they can't play in that type of game. Like, if I'm looking at it, that my concern is just, well, how do they win then? Like, how do you win?
Well, Florida tried to play that game. I mean, they're not complete fucking machines. They're really good and they're incredible, and they put everything together and they had everyone on the same page, pulling in the same direction. It was a masterclass, like I said, and just the whole night, the Leafs just could not get a settled down puck, time or space. And if they did, every fucking option and every lane was covered. And if you paint yourself into a corner a little bit or bobble the puck or try, they're on you. They collapse. It was a masterclass. Yeah, they try to play like that all the time, but they didn't play like that in 1 and 2. Yeah. We don't know what they're going to play like in 5. Like, that's packing your shit and going home isn't really a fucking option. Like,
it's true. It's true.
You have to roll the dice again on Wednesday and see if we can regroup and fucking come flying like they've started so many games very well, fly and score a goal really early, and that building would be rocking. And it's like, holy shit, we could leave tonight with the lead 3-2, and then next you just got to win one, and like you just got to go do it and try to do it, and you get those chances, they have to get fucking buried, right? Matthews, it's just a reality now. He's not even close. He's 50%, I think, of himself. Can he bury on some kind of a chance that's created somehow? I hope so. Like JT, I love how he plays a style of hockey that is you can play in this kind of a game. Get down fucking low. Use your body. Protect that puck. Look up. Find the spot and throw it down the seam as you pop out from behind the net and stuff like that. It's harder for Mitch Marner to play in this game because of his style of play. It's why I've been critical for him in the past. It's why I think that I just don't know if you need that one guy to get you over the hump in the playoffs, which is the only thing left they have to do, if he's the guy to do it or not. Just by the way he plays, he's very good at hockey. But when a Florida Panthers team does that, he's less likely to be successful. It's just the matter of fact. Tavares is going to be better. Nylander is going to be better. Nyes is going to be better. But like, what can you do? You know, Woll gave you a chance. You didn't fucking take it. It would have been an absolute stealing of the game. They would have second-guessed themselves in that locker room, the Florida Panthers. They would have said that was the kitchen sink that we just threw at them. How the hell do we not have a win? You had a chance to do it. You didn't. So goddamn frustrating. But like, what? There's nothing. Everyone saw the same game. Like, I knew there wasn't going to be any secret thing you were going to release here tonight and be like, oh my God, that's exactly true. Everyone saw it, and everyone knows what happened and what that was. We watched the same thing for 60 fucking minutes straight. And yeah, it's deflating, but you got to go find that juju that you had at home. And you got to just, like, what's left? But try to get the lead. It's not even like you're down 3-0 and we're talking about, hey, still have some heart and stranger things have happened. Like, you're fucking tied in the series. You don't give up right now. Like, that's your fucking broken heart coming out right now, losing your marbles. That was such a hard game to play. Somehow they kept in it because they have all these layers and everything going for them. They were fucking in it. Maybe next time they'll win it. Maybe next time they'll get the bounces. You know, maybe Austin will just bury one on the opening shift. Like, things change, and Game 5 could absolutely be different. I choose to think that there's a chance it could. Is it an uphill climb? Is it going to be a battle? Yeah. Is their back way more against the wall than it was after Game 2? Obviously. But like, I'm not ready to tear it apart and tear it down. Like I said, there'll be lots of time for that after. We can go deep into it, and then that's what we do. But I can't bring myself to go nuclear after that one. I mean, I don't see a lot of teams that could have handled that a hell of a lot more successfully.
Yeah, I mean, I'll be honest. I think a lot of the reason that I feel the way that I do watching this one is just because it feels like I just get like PTSD. It's like,
I know.
it's like you hear like a loud bang outside, and all of a sudden you're sitting in here going, "Holy fuck, what just happened?" It's because that felt like Game 5 against Ottawa, and it felt like Game 4 against Boston last year, where it was like, "Oh my god, it's the same group who shows up," and it to me it just felt like a squandered opportunity. You had a chance here tonight to go up 3-1 in the series. You had Joseph Woll, who was unreal for you, keeping you in this thing. He's really, to me, he's the only reason that it was 1-0 still going into late into the second. And it's just like, I can't believe you are at this point, into the third period, actually, sorry.
How different is the whole game if one of those guys buries? Like,
I know.
That power,
I know.
The first power play of the second period was actually pretty productive, couldn't bury. I mean, just think of the chances where you're like, there it is. Like, it's a fucking tie game. Now we're going to be buzzing, bouncing around, and they're going to go, God damn it. Now it's a horse race like anybody's game. And we just didn't get it. And that's the feeling that I've had in the past. You just can't do it. It's right there. No. And they can't get it done. That's the feeling I've had that I haven't had all playoffs. Maybe a little bit trying to close it against Ottawa, but it was different. This was just like, it's really hard, and I can see that. And you're behind, but like just do that one extra thing to get back in, and they just don't. And then the freaking horn goes, and you're sitting there, don't want to move off the couch. Like, God damn it, that's it. Like, they're fucking tied. They got both of them lost in Florida. You had to win one. The other one was in overtime. And this one, you were 1-0, even though you didn't probably deserve it. Like, Florida deserved to win that hockey game. Let's just call the spade a spade. Mm-hmm. And they did. So fucking all those guys can do as an athlete is move on. There's nothing left to do. And that's what they're going to do. That's what they're going to have to do. They don't have to look very far back to when they played good hockey and had these guys on their heel and dominate them. You have to take control of this next game and ultimately the series and get back in this thing and establish control again. But God damn it, like, they wanted to, they just didn't. Did you watch the Florida Panthers? Like, if that was your team, you're like, oh my God, we might never lose again. Like a masterclass, man.
How do you go about adjustments within this lineup? Do you run it back with the same group? Do you bring in Nick Robertson here? Do you bring in a David Kampf? Like, do you change things up when it comes to that? Do you take advantage of the fact, hey, you know what, it's home ice, we have last change, we can go through stuff, and we'll just rely on these guys because it worked in games 1 and 2? And I guess specifically here, I want to point out the fact that third line, I don't know if we want to call them the third line, the fourth line, it's the Domi, McMahon, Holmberg line. They have been struggling throughout the entire playoffs. Rosie, tonight they got their fucking teeth kicked in. They couldn't win battles. They struggled to get the puck out of the zone. We saw a penalty there from Domi early in the first period. We saw the McMahon penalty there as well. Like, it was a tough night for those guys all around. And other than really, Domi has had a couple of big goals here. But other than that, it's a group that struggled to provide offense for you or do anything positive down in the offensive zone there as well. Do you make adjustments? Do you change guys out from that line?
Yeah, like Holmberg, sometimes he just looks like a child out there, like he's tiptoeing in, going, "Oh God, like this is a big boy game," and he's not really up for the challenge. McMahon, he falls down all the time, like just falls down all the time, to the point of frustration. Tries to play physical, takes a penalty. Frustrating for sure. Domi will come with speed, and then he just like pulls up and fucking accomplishes nothing sometimes, and it's kind of frustrating. I just want to see some blazing speed through the neutral zone, take it wide and drive the fucking net with the other guy like on the same page and driving his fucking legs there too. Cause some mayhem. The third man high pops down and buries one. Like, just force something, like blow the goddamn doors open. I don't think they did enough to penetrate the dirty areas. I don't think they were gritty enough. I don't think they just threw caution to the wind. Like, they were working hard. There was some grinding. There's some mucking. They're trying to hit everything. I saw all that, but like, offensively, you got to try to force something, and nobody seemed able to do it. Do you pull out McMahon and put Robertson in? I mean, if you just want to try for the sake of a different look and maybe that Robertson bump, like, is that going to happen back home for game 5? I don't know. Like, he tends to snipe when he comes back. Okay. But like, he's not really suited to play in that type of a big boy game. You wish McMahon was more capable of stepping up to that type of a game and like emerging as like a kind of a power forward type who can get you 20 goals, but he doesn't really seem to have a lot of that DNA in him. Yarncroke, do you see enough out of him? It seems like here and there. I don't know if they're gonna like David Kampf is. I mean, do you think Chief's gonna think that's enough to make the difference or make a viable change? I don't know, man. And if you don't do a game 5, like, do you wait for 6 or 7? Like, hell no. I don't know if they're going to make changes. It'll be damn interesting to see. You want to be able to blame that we don't have Stolars. Like, it's easier to do that when there's a softie let in or something, but that just adds to the layers of frustration. Like, you got a goalie performance. Like, that guy's just like, guys, I've given you everything you could ever goddamn ask for in this game. Like, can you score one fucking goal? And they couldn't. Just those missed opportunities are killing me right now.
We do have Super Chat here. Our Super Chat charity partner this season is Sick Kids. Proceeds from our Super Chats, whether you want to get your question or your comment into the show, they do go to Sick Kids, so go to an amazing cause here. Our first Super Chat comes in from Shane Brom, Rosie. Shane says, Jay and Zack, I don't know what you draw it up to, but for me, the reason they lost, 0 forecheck. Power play was Casper. Fuck all pushback in the third. Trying these stretch pass breakouts. Series is going 7. The one thing there to me, the power play just struggling yet again is an infuriating thing. We're watching these where it's like, you're spending a lot of time back in your own zone. We saw the one power play get cut short because of a penalty that gets taken, trying to fend off the pressure being brought by the Panthers on your own power play. That was a big frustrating moment for me here tonight. But if you were to kind of pinpoint something from this Leafs team, is there a main reason? Is it just everything all together? Like, what is it for you that you kind of look to and say, hey, this is the biggest reason they lost? Or is it a lot to do with just the way the Panthers played tonight?
Like, the Panthers made it difficult, no question. But like, how do they do that? Like, how do you accomplish that? Why doesn't everyone do that? Like, they move their feet like crazy. Like, they close on everything. They are all connected. One guy goes, one comes, they collapse, they both go. They take everything away so incredibly well, and it's a lot of hard work to do that. I didn't see, like, in order to beat that, you have to work your nuts off. Like, you have to skate, you have to create that separation, you have to fight and gain your ice. You can't just stand there wide-legged kind of gliding and thinking that no one's coming. They're going to take your lane away. They're going to get sticks on your pucks, and you have to be ready to skate and like engage and continue that battle and like come up with that puck. And they just weren't. It's like they were gassed. It's like they were all gassed, like in their D zone, in the offensive zone. Like, guys are always changing and leaving it like a 1-on-3 or a 2-on-4, and it's like fucking not creating anything out of that. It was just. And it's unfortunately the further it went on, it's kind of like the worse it got sometimes. Like, instead of like really bearing down and being like, hey, what does fucking Berube want us to do again? Like, can we get back on that? They kind of resort to these hopers and batting it on their backhand, hoping that guy's there, and the bobbling. Fuck God, it's frustrating to watch. It brought back kind of a little bit of PTSD, like you said, from games that we've seen them play frustratingly in the playoffs. But on this one in particular, the opposition, like, you have to tip your cap sometimes, man. They're unbelievably good at what they do. That was what every team wants to do, is that right there. I don't want to stroke them off too bad, but I mean, why not? Look what they do, man. That was all of their best, and you damn near had it. So again, man, like, a best of 3, if you can get one, like, it's probably going 7, like you say. So the table's getting set for another game 7, like, finally, for someone to break through and like bury on a huge chance. And the horn goes and you won. You beat the fucking mighty Panthers off. You exercise your demons in game 7. And now you got who the fuck cares? You're feeling like you've just slayed dragons, and you're this team that just like did something that you weren't sure you could do, and now there's nothing fucking stopping you. That's very possible. So like, I'm not going down this lane of what's wrong with this. Nothing's wrong with this fucking team. They're pretty goddamn good. They just ran up against a juggernaut, didn't respond with their best stuff, and we're in it by the sake of an unbelievable goaltending performance, which thank God we have, because we need it. We need two goalies that can do that. And we'll see what happens in game 5, man. Like you want to talk about the rough stuff and after the game and all that shit. Like, I can't believe it's funny. Like, honestly, after the first period, like, how many people think there's an honest conspiracy against the fucking Toronto Maple Leafs? Blows my mind. Those were all penalties. They suck that you called 4 in a row. And if that like hit behind on Tanev right in the middle of by the hash marks happened after they got 4 penalties, they would have called it. But what happens right after in the third? 3 in a row, but no one talks about that. And, all the hits and the bumps, and everyone thinks that, the Stoli getting taken out is the most egregious thing in the world. And then no one says boo about OEL. No one says boo about Domi at the end of the game. Like, if anyone did that to us, we'd be fucking thinking that it's a coordinated event against the Leafs. Like, enough of that shit, you guys. No one's against you. No, every team in the league, funny enough, thinks that there's a conspiracy against their team. Why the hell would that be? Why would Bettman not want this team to have success? It's the biggest market in the world. It's the best story in hockey right now. If the Leafs could do something fucking special, it would garner the most attention, bring the most money, sell the most merch. Like, what are we talking about? Stop with that shit. I'm trying to fucking talk about the game like a individual who can fucking talk hockey, and I can't get over the league is fucking against us. How it's like, Jesus, you guys, like, has that ever brought anything good? Like, fucking everyone just loving it. Like, it makes you feel like shit. Move on. Everyone gets the bad calls against them. There wasn't even any there. No one says boo about Domi and these guys. Fucking OEL. Like, if you're gonna bury a guy like that, fucking Rodriguez, do it to Bennett or do it to fucking do it to one of the big boys. It's unfortunate, but I don't know. Domi gave quite the shot there at the end of the game. Piled into the boards, of course, all awkwardly, and those guys did not like that. I like a little bit of pushback. That's what the Panthers would do.
That's what I was gonna say. I love that. Look, I'll be honest, Rosie, I didn't make it to the highest level, but I was a scumbag piece of shit. And if you got to the end of the game like that in a situation like that, like, you best believe I will try to take your knees out and your head off. Like, I would try to do that shit. Like, and the problem is, the thing that infuriates me a lot of the time watching these guys in years past, at least, was like, and I'm not exaggerating when I say this, the Florida Panthers will genuinely try to take you out of the series. Like, we saw what Matthew Tkachuk did to Jake Gensel. We saw what Aaron Ekblad did to Brendan Hagel. Like, right, like, they literally will try to, like, I'm not even saying, like, it's not like they're, like, going out there and they're trying to kill people, like, but they will try to put you through the ice. They're going to try to kill you. And then we used to see this Leafs team be like, don't hit me. And it's like the end of the game, you're down 2-0, and we would watch the Panthers run around and kick the shit out of the Leafs. I appreciated that. Look, is that the cleanest hit ever by Domi? Fuck no. But fuck them. Like, who cares? Get in there and start throwing at these guys. Like, at the end of the game, Bobby McMahon blindsided the fuck out of Matthew Tkachuk as well, and he's laying on the ice, like, yelling about it. Oh, how could you hit me like that? It's like, dude, you would do that to every single other person, so fuck you. And, like, I love him as a player, and I'm not saying that to disrespect him as a person or a player, nothing, because I would take that guy on my team tomorrow if we could. But it's just like, fuck you. Go out there, take heads off. Take guys out with you. Like, that OEL penalty, beyond stupid, especially at that time in the game. But if he does that with 2 minutes left, down two goals, fuck it. Who cares? Like, those are the kinds of moments where I'm like, you know what? They've got some stones in there throughout the remainder of that lineup. Like, I honestly... People call me what you want. I don't care. Yeah, I'm a fucking scumbag. I like that stuff. Fucking go at them. Like, there was texts I was about to send to our group chat, Rosie, that I just had to delete because I'm like, these guys are going to look at me like I'm a lunatic if I send this shit. And I'm just like, type delete.
Well, dude, and that's fine. Be that way. And I like that shit too. I played pretty on the fucking edge, and lots of people were not really thrilled of my tactics at times. And I like the hockey, and I didn't try to hurt anyone or take anyone out, but fuck, I will not miss an opportunity to just finish as hard as I possibly can. And if it's high or give you a shot after, if you think you're going to fuck around, I will try to make you scared. And I love their finish. That's fine as long as you don't take a suspension. But the only thing that really matters is why are you doing that? You're setting the table for game 5. You're setting the table for how it's going to go. You better fucking come out banging, crashing, stiff arming, FU. Like, just no one touches us. Like, they were, see Ekblad and Johnny T's face giving him shots. Like, those guys are running the table, and they used to run the Leafs right out of the building, but they don't anymore. But if you're going to go and finish the game and send that message of this game's not over, be ready for a war when we get back to our barn, then you better back it up and come out buzzing. That's the only thing that matters. That's why you do that, is to say, hey, you fucks, we aren't going to roll over and die. We're getting ready for a war. But just so you know, the Florida Panthers are not, they're not no strangers to doing that. So if you open that can of worms, which you just did, you better be ready to play some big boy hockey. And I don't really love the idea of going down that road just based on they're better suited to do it than we are. Mitch Marner's going to have a harder time playing in that game than where everyone's kind of, not too intensely looking for all the physical stuff. But you're in a war. That's what you've got yourself into. And you couldn't win one down there. You had chances to do it. You couldn't do it. So this is your bed. You got to lie in it, and you better be ready to go to fucking war in game 5. And you can win that game. You can win that game. Like, again, yes, the table's being set for a game 7. It's as likely as any other scenario, but there's everyone's sky is not falling right now. There's very likely a very unbelievable scenario at the end of this thing that could involve like everything anyone could ever hope who follows this team. It's still right there. You just have to do some things better and not let them control the game so goddamn much. They were in complete control for 60 minutes. That was what everyone wants to do in the playoffs.
There are people in the chat here suggesting that they should give the guys on the Leafs meth ahead of game 5 and see what happens.
The old SS Hitler move. Like, that guy was just tweeting out. All his German soldiers were just mething out like insane. And it worked. Like, yeah. Like, at least adopt that mentality. Like, come out like a bunch of fucking banshees. Like, no one, like, I'm talking about the Domies and the McMahons and these guys, like blow up everything that moves. Like, that's what you need to do anyway. If you're not putting the puck in that puck, clear some way for the big boys. Create some room where they're looking over their shoulders and they're bobbling the pucks and they can't find their support, and give some room for a Mitch Marner. Like, you got to dictate it now. They already just set the table. It's going to be probably a massive war with those guys pissed off. You saw them at the end of the game. Mm-hmm. They're coming. So you turn it into that series. I love it. Let's fucking watch it. Let's play it. Let's win one like that and watch the belief just soar, man. You got to win the next game. And I don't want everyone to be so far removed from the feeling after game 2. Like, we don't have to go back that far to when it's like, oh my God, like, we can beat this team. We're the better hockey team. It didn't look that way tonight. Everyone's got to reset, and all that's up for grabs again on Wednesday.
Look, Rosie, I think the biggest thing for me just in general here is just the opportunity that you had. You look at the last game where you're like, you were that close and you just had that 10-minute period where you kind of just fell apart. The Panthers came back, they take the lead in that game, and then you have to force your way to tie it up and go to OT. And you were right there, and it could have been 3-0. And then you look at this one here tonight, and it's down 1-0. You get the goalie game. You battled through the 4 penalties. You only give up 1 goal in those 4 penalties in the first period. You had the opportunities, and it's just not there. And I think that's where Leafs Nation starts to feel sick to their stomachs, being like, man, we've seen this before. And I mean, again, I agree with you in terms of what we saw from the Panthers tonight. My issue or my frustration, and I think it's what a lot of people in the chat are experiencing here right now, is just like, it's the playoffs. Nothing's going to be easy, no matter who you play. If you get through this and you play Carolina or Washington, or if you get through to the Cup Finals and it's Dallas or Winnipeg or whatever it may be on the other side, Edmonton, Vegas, those chances, it's going to be hard to come by because it's the Stanley Cup playoffs. And if you can't find ways to score, which is something you've struggled with in years past, which is, again, going to the PTSD factor, then you're going to have a tough time winning anything. And I think that's the biggest frustration of Leafs Nation coming out of this game tonight, Rosie.
This is the first time we had trouble scoring. Like, we've put up goals. We've gotten leads. We've responded when they steal the momentum back. We've done so many good things. Like, this was one game. Like part of the whole mentality and scar tissue and hurt of what the Leafs have been through is like how willing everyone's ready to go to negative town. And it like fucking sucks being there. I don't want to go back there. So I'm like the players aren't melting down for a reason, because they have to go perform. They have to go do something. I get that the fans don't, but like, ride with them. I remember being part of the team. And when I started this pod, I was thinking I got to be true to what I remember about being a fucking Leaf. Like, it doesn't help the team when they're getting torn down at the drop of a hat. That was kind of my big thing. And yeah, it's changed, and it's a moving needle, and I veer off it. But like, now's the time where this team's giving you so much. Can the whole fucking Leafs nation just not completely fold into this? Like, so many people are saying it's over, this thing's done. Like, what the fuck is your deal? Like, why not? You're that much of a hair trigger right now after everything they've
you want to know where they're at, Rosie?
What are they saying? Like,
the phenom says, Rosie,
like,
you're talking like a pussy.
Well, fuck. It's not tough to fucking melt down and throw in the towel. It's not fucking tough. Like, dig in and fucking do better, and like, have some belief, have some determination. Oh, fucking, we lost one. These guys fucking, I knew it. I fucking told you this guy sucks and this guy sucks, and guess how much this guy makes, and the fucking refs fucked us. The league fucked us. Everyone fucked us. Oh, fucking, that you fucking lost 60-minute game. It's 2-2 fucking hockey game. You're chicken shit for fucking crying at the drop of a hat. Fucking so soft, such a mental midget. You guys fucking fold like paper at the drop of a fucking hat. This team's giving you a ton. Like, ride with them a little bit. Go home and fucking light that city on fire. Buzz. That city wasn't buzzing the way I thought it was going to be in the second round. I'll tell you that. First 2 games, home ice advantage, wasn't buzzing. Like, fucking, that place was rocking last time they were in this position. That was 20 years ago. Like, get fired up and believe a little bit, like every other fucking team gets. Why do these guys have to just be absolute hair triggers? Like, they're here, they're doing what you've asked of them, and you just bail the second. Oh yeah, that's real fucking tough. I'm a pussy because I want to fucking keep going. Like, smarten up. Fucking rattle. That's the one thing that rattles me. Like, I couldn't even find a fucking tweet of anyone with anything to say other than the refs and the leagues and shit. Like, fuck, did you even watch? They're all penalties. The fucking McMahon's a penalty. The Nyes is a penalty. OEL shoots over the fucking glass. And I don't even know what the other one was, but it was like, yeah, that's what it is. Like, it sucks that they're all in 4 in a row, and the refs are probably like, God damn it. Like, can they not take these obvious penalties right in front of us? Because, the Panthers didn't really take much that was missed. Like, enough with the refs. Everyone's going to get their calls. We get 3 in a row. Oh, all of a sudden you're fucking okay. Like, so I didn't think I was going to just turn on the fans here, but like, fucking ride with them for more than one loss, dude. Like, it's not the end of the world. Overtime in the other one, this was a 1-goal game. You got a lot to be positive about. Let's go home and take this one and get the lead in the series. Like, how is that not your attitude right now?
Yeah, the only one I took, I appreciate that. The only one I took not issue with, the only one that I was like, fuck, was the McMahon one, because I just saw like a minute and a half before Marchand buried Tanev there, and I thought he was at least far enough away from the boards. I understand what the penalty is. Don't get me wrong. I'm not trying to tell you it's not a penalty. I understand what it is. I just thought he was far enough away, and I was like, dude, I just watched a guy bury a guy from the numbers. It was different. It's a different situation, but that was the one I thought they could have got away with potentially there. In that first, it doesn't end up being the case. Last thing I'm going to ask you about, I don't even know how to word this because I've asked you probably 43 times this year, and like, I hate to have to ask you again, but let's just put it this way. Power play, 0 for 3. Not just 0 for 3. They had one where I thought they had good chances. Outside of that, I thought it was pretty pathetic. What the fuck, man? Why are we like, I'm not going to ask you how to fix this. Just give me your thoughts, like how frustrating it is to watch that. Like, why are we doing this again? Why does this have to happen with this power play? Like, let's bury on these chances, man. You get given that opportunity down 1. You have no business being in the game, and it's like,
It's so fucking brutal. Like, they are not hooked up at all. Like, the second one, there was more chances against than they even had fucking looks in the other end. Like, they almost got buried on a couple of times for a shorty, which would just be icing on the cake there. The one Mo, looks off Willie on his 1T side. Like Willie buries that. He's the one guy who could bury a 1T opportunity coming across the top of the circles, and you look them off and go the fucking. You're not looking, like they're not communicating out there. They're not in sync. And it's not just the power play in general. Like that's the frustration. Like how do you not bury a goddamn chance? Like everyone else kind of did their jobs and kept it to low enough where you could steal that game. But like of ghosts of fucking playoff past, yes, they cannot score when you need to. That's the tough thing is that when it looks the same as it has, and it's the guys that it's always the story. You need the guys to step up and do that and be the franchise player kind of thing. And it's those games where you just fucking can't believe that again, they just didn't, not once, not on this chance, not on that chance, not on this power play, not on that thing, not on this, on that. And they never, they just don't, they just fucking goose egg it. And that's just not, that's not going to, you're just not capable of winning a series like that. You have to have your big boys do your big boy stuff. Every other goddamn team who's going to move on has got their big boys doing that stuff. It's always the fucking story. I am definitely tired of it too.
Yeah, very, very frustrating. I mean, I can't even give you an answer, honestly. It just seems like just dumb shit happening. I don't know if it's clutching the sticks too tight, overthinking it. I don't know. I can't even give you an answer. It's just frustrating because it's like it feels like if you don't score on those power plays, but you had a good looks, you can build off of it. And you could be like, hey, we were there, like we had a good. It just doesn't feel like that. There's more times
momentum.
Exactly. That's what I was going to say. There's more times than not where it feels like you've lost momentum. Rosie, you have been very generous with your time here on the post-game show here tonight. I don't know if you have any other words, anything else before you leave. KPG did ask you, what's your Ninja Crispy hot take?
I don't have one yet, man. It is yet to be determined, this whole thing. I could have one that's maybe spicy, maybe not. I don't go out there trying to be spicy. That's the thing about that game. There is no wild hot take that everyone watched the same thing. It was right there, black and white. We all saw, like, they couldn't get the XYZ going, and the Panthers did the ABC just perfectly. And it's puck battles, it's possession time, it's time and space, it's clutch factor on your chances, it's moving your goddamn feet, forcing shit to happen. Like it's hard, and you're going to be tired and you're going to be sore, but just not enough of it to fend off what was thrown at them. Not at all. And that's just the way a playoff game goes. I mean, how could you expect it not to happen when you know who we're playing? Okay, you've seen it now. It would have been fucking sweet if you actually pulled it off and shocked them, but maybe you're saving that for down the road. And we'll see what game 5 looks like, but it's definitely got to be better. And a positive note is Woolsey's found his stride, and you tend to get hot and stay hot. And I have a feeling he's going to be damn good in game 5 too. And again, just it's like every other fucking story. The deciding factor, the difference maker is going to be one of those big boys. You got to bury on a chance. That's it.
Well, Jake Tomaras says, I'm a Leafs fan. I'm crying. Oh.
It's fucking piss off, man. It sucks. It was a shit game to watch, start to finish. I mean, I'd rather play the game 3 where you blow a couple leads. I'd way rather play that game. You're in that. Anything can happen there. This was just a stone wall that you were just trying to run up against the whole 60 minutes, and nobody was getting through. Frustrating to say the least, man. Fuck. I'm gonna just shut my stuff off and shut her down and see if the wife's in a Mother's Day mood, but that's about all I got left. I can't do this shit. It takes a lot out of you. Like, fuck. It's more stressful than being a player.
What does a Mother's Day mood entail?
Well, if she thought Mother's Day was good and she's feeling all close to everybody. That's all I got to look forward to, Zach. You shit. It's miserable losing. Don't get invested in a hockey team. At least we can end with a chuckle like we usually do. Fuck. She's probably gonna...
like, Jay, I just heard you scream at the TV for 2.5 hours. What kind of mood do you think I'm in?
Oh, God damn it. Hey, don't start planting those seeds in her head. That was a nice little family evening, and we're all together. That's the main thing. So good vibes. Good vibes for tonight.
Oh, Jay, thanks for the nice day. Thanks for the flowers. This is so kind of you. Oh, what the fuck, Marner?
You screamed at the TV for the better part of 2.5 hours. I am swooning right now. Damn it. Zach, you think like a woman.
Just
That's
go
your
show her
problem.
some Matthew Nyes highlights. You'll be good to go.
Seriously. Goddamn. Well, I don't know, man, if you expected me to torch the thing or not, but I don't think it's time for that. It is 2-2. It is not. You just have to take a step forward that makes everyone go, oh, yeah, we are capable of being in this series, of taking over a game and of dominating. You got to fucking step up and do it. And I hope sooner than goddamn later, because there's not a lot of room. You're playing a goddamn good team, and you got to kick her into your best and get playing your best. Meow.
Yes, I agree. I wasn't sure where you were going to be at. And look, honestly, I had to get it off my chest about Marner and Matthews. I get what you're saying. I don't dispute that. My frustration just comes in like, you've seen it before. You've had this before. If you can't play in those moments, well, maybe it's time for you to fuck off. But
And maybe we'll have that conversation. I mean,
Yeah.
but it ain't useful to have it tonight. That's my thing. It's just
fair enough.
not the time. It is like we can very well, and there's still time for someone to change people's minds, or I don't know.
Yeah.
But fucking, like, you've had a lot of looks, boys. It only gets harder the more and more you fail and get stymied and get in a rut and can't score and are 0 for this and 0 for that and 0 for this and most missed nets, and like it only gets worse. You only grip it more and grip it harder, and it only gets more important part of the series as you go on. So let's fucking go, man. Like, show us something, man.
The chat says is telling me to leave you alone because you don't score often, so I need to let you be.
Well, I don't know how to do it, I'll tell you that. But the guys that are going to lift the cup, they need to figure it out.
Not about that. Not about that.
Well, I get it. Hope you're lucky, Jay. Thanks, boys.
All right, Rosie, get out of here.
At least they're not calling me a pussy anymore for sticking with the team. Jesus. All right, guys. The sky is not done.
All right.
Wish me luck.
Thanks, Rosie. Appreciate it. There you go. Jay Rosehill hopping on here. Leafs Nation After Dark, helping us break this one down. We appreciate him for giving us as much time as he did here tonight. I'm glad that Rosie could at least get us out of here with some more positive stuff, regardless of how it came. But thanks to Rosie for jumping on. Thanks to Stephen Ellis. We got more stuff to do before we can close out this show tonight. Let's start with our super chats that we've got. Again, a reminder: our super chats do go to Sick Kids. Proceeds from our super chats do go to Sick Kids charity. So thank you guys so much for sending those in. You want your questions or comments read on the show? Send in your super chats, and I will read them. Almost $100 in donations here tonight already on the Leafs Nation After Dark show. Let's start with Michael. Okay, Michael, with the super chat. Michael, thank you as always. Michael says, Zach, before I have lost all hope and bet on the Panthers, but this year I won't. Instead, I will trust the Leafs will prevail, and it's up to the boys to play smart. Michael, I will just say for the context of the chat, Michael is somebody who every year has come to the chat, every year that I've done this show, and said, Zach, I don't trust this team. I'm betting on Tampa. I'm betting on Boston. I'm betting on Tampa. I'm betting on Boston. I'm betting on Florida. This year, he came in and he said, I'm not doing it. Betting on the Leafs. They beat Ottawa. Now he's saying, I'm not betting on Florida. I'm trusting the boys. If Michael's trusting the boys, maybe we should too. Let's go to the next one here. Mike Fammy, Leafs weren't even aggressive tonight at all. They just looked disinterested the entire game. They were more worried about picking fights than playing. I thought that they were aggressive. 47 hits here tonight. The Panthers had 40. I think just the frustrating thing was it felt like they were chasing the game all night long, which I think leads to where Mike is at, was saying that they were more worried about picking fights. It did feel like they were chasing it a lot. So I'll give you that. I'll give you credit on that and kind of agree with you there. But otherwise, I thought that they were I thought they were physical. They just didn't carry the play. 115 likes here on the post-game show, 600 people watching. We did hit over 900 here at one point, especially when Rosie was on. But for those who are new to the channel, for those who are maybe coming back but don't remember or don't know what this is or just haven't seen it before, at every 50 likes here on the post-game show, 50, 100, 150, 200, we do the smelling salts. So we will bring out the smelling salts for that. I will get to the second ones when we get to a couple super chats here in a moment. We'll get to the 100th. We'll do smelling salts again. But if we get to 150, we'll do those again. So keep racking up the likes. Keep subscribing to the channel. Just over 300 subscribers away from 17,000 on the Leafs Nation channel. So make sure to hit that subscribe button. Hit that like button. Here are the smelling salts. It's a fresh bottle. The boys can attest. They did it with me the other day. When I opened it up, it is a fresh bottle. Next super chat here. This comes from X, though. Oh, my God. That really punched me in the face. X, though. Our first real tough, tight loss this playoffs. Florida deserves their credit, and so does Woll. Buckle up, boys. They're hard to beat, but we will. Now we go. Now we go is right. I'm going to have to completely switch up the outfit that I'm wearing as well. I went from, I was wearing the Now We Go white shirt, and then I switched into the Leafs Nation black shirt with the white logo and a new hat, and then that lost, so now we're going to switch back. And I wore a different outfit here tonight. I'm really big into the mojo and how we can battle through things that way and do my own part, and it just didn't work tonight. So new fit with the Now We Go shirt coming up on Wednesday at Greta Bar YYZ for the Leafs Nation pregame and postgame with producer Vic, Nick Alberga, and myself on Wednesday night for Game 5. In terms of what Exlo says, our first real tough, tight loss this playoffs. Florida deserves their credit, and so does Woll. Buckle in, boys. I would disagree with the first real tight loss. You look at the overtime loss to the Senators in Game 5. Game 4 was the 4-0 loss. So Game 5, I guess, was the one that was the OT loss, if I'm remembering that. No, Game 4 was that one. Game 5 was the 4-0 loss. That OT loss was tight. Last game, OT loss to the Panthers as well, tight. I guess if you're talking about score-wise and ability for either team to be able to bury, yeah, this was the tightest, toughest one. For either team, there was really no ice out there. This is just why this one's extra frustrating. It's like, problems in the past, the game gets tight, your big boys can't score. Well, here you were blank tonight, and you wasted an effort from your goaltender. You wasted an effort from Joseph Woll that was just an unreal performance from the guy, putting up a .946 save percentage with 35 saves in this one. And it's not just the number of saves. In a lot of ways, it was the quality of saves, the chances that were created by the Panthers. I mean, you look at Money Puck, the deserve to win a meter, whatever, 84% for the Florida Panthers on the deserve to win a meter, 3.42 expected goals for the Panthers in all situations. Again, according to Money Puck here, that alone, and that just how many saves that Joseph Woll made at big moments in big spots that just saved the game, keep it at 1-0 for most of that game. He was out of his mind, and it feels like you wasted that performance. Hopefully I'm wrong. We just look back on this one, and it's like, well, it just happened. It is what it is. You got through it. It's okay. But that, for me, coming off of this game, feels like a wasted game, a wasted performance, where it's like your goaltender is allowed to steal you one every now and then. That felt like the one that they could have had where he steals it for you, and you just let it slip. That's why this one is just extra frustrating coming out of this game. You had the goaltending game, and you lost. Maui says, offense is like learning to drive manual. Stalling. Fair enough. Nate92, anyone blaming injuries for Matthews being a loser deserves to waste another 9 years of their life watching him embarrass himself in the spring. Look, the body of work that's being put together for Austin Matthews in the postseason is not going to be very flattering for him. And I get where Nate92 is coming from when he makes this super chat. The thing I will say for him, this is not an excuse or a defense. This is just a pushback on Nate. He is obviously injured. You can tell in the way that he's skating, shooting, all of it. He is obviously injured. That's where I will leave it. Because I've said what I've said about him needing to score, needing to step up. Like, it all needs to happen. It all needs to be better. I don't care at this point about the defensive game that he's bringing. I get it. Congrats. Good for you. Again, like, to just go back to this and bring it up again, Phil Deneau makes $5.5 million. And he has as many goals in the postseason as Austin Matthews. And his series ended in round 1. So, for a guy to be making $13.25 million, it just feels unacceptable at this point for him to be where he is at offensively in this series. And truthfully, looking at him and Marner and their inability to take over a game, their inability to just say, fuck it, we're winning this game, we're going to go balls to the wall, and this game is ours, that is where this just gets that much more frustrating, and then volume turns up that much louder around those guys. And like, my pushback again to Rosie, and I get where he was going with this when you're talking about the way the Panthers played and them deserving credit. He's right. They do deserve credit. The problem is Matthews and Marner especially can never score in these games. They can never break through in these games. When it gets tight, when it gets tough, they just can't do it. And watching this game here yet again was another reminder that that's the case for them. They just couldn't score. Matthew Knies had the best chances of the three of them. Unfortunately, he didn't score, so I guess on those, he can deserve some criticism. But again, I thought Matthew Knies played really well. He just couldn't bury. I guess in the short term, that deserves criticism because he didn't score, and that's what you're looking for, and that's the criticism that I put on Austin and I put on Mitch. But Austin Matthews, through this entire postseason, has been really, really, really good. So I have a hard time criticizing him for the one game that on the couple of opportunities he just didn't score. Jeff McKay, super chat. 675 viewers right now. If you haven't already, hit that like button, subscribe here to Leafs Nation 401 on YouTube. There's about 1,000 plus people watching on Twitter right now as well. If you haven't, make sure to hit that like button. Head on over to the YouTube channel, Leafs Nation 401 on YouTube. Jeff McKay says, that was some fine, scared playoff hockey from our $50 million players. I think I can smell the poop in their pants through the TV. Jeff, that is where I was getting at. Look, I'm going to go back to it here quickly. That's where I was getting at when I was talking about that little rant that I had about Matthews and Marner with Rosie and when he gave me the pushback. I get the pushback that he was giving me on that. Again, I understand what he's saying. He did also play in the NHL. I did not. So in that situation, I'm always going to lean on the player and the guy who's been there, done that, seen it, experienced it. And Rosie's a guy who doesn't hold back. We've seen him have that outrage or that frustration and that passion towards this team and be willing to call those guys out. So in that situation, I'm going to get it. And I will have some pause when it gets to that point and he says, hey, stop. Maybe it's not that bad. But again, my frustration with these guys comes in that I watched that game from start to finish. And I thought that 34 and 16 were effectively ghosts. I thought William Nylander had a really tough start to this game. I thought he was rather invisible as well. But William Nylander is also a guy who does not kill penalties. And when there are 4 penalties taken in the first period, that's 8 of the 20 minutes, leaving 12 minutes left at even strength that you can fit William Nylander into. And it's not easy to kind of find a rhythm for that guy. Or a guy in general when you've got that few opportunities, that few minutes left. So that's where I kind of gave him a little bit of pause. The issue became that as the game went on, I noticed William Nylander more and more and more throughout the rest of the game and opportunities that were had. And yes, He could have scored on a ton of those, whether it was the half breakaway chances or times where he's driving to the net or making plays to the middle of the ice or just trying to get inside and get shots off. Sure, there were moments that he could have scored, and I get the criticism. My thing with William Nylander, especially in a game like tonight, where I will give him that pass over a Marner, over a Matthews, was that it felt like he was creating those chances. He was trying to get to those spots. He was doing those things and just couldn't find a way to capitalize on the other end. It's the Marners and the Matthews who do this over and over and over again, where they just can't get to the middle of the ice. They cannot score. They do not try. And I watched in that third period, the more physical that game got, Mitch Marner, you know the meme of Homer Simpson going into the bushes, or the kid who does the peace sign and then he just disappears into thin air and he just kind of vanishes? That is what I felt like Mitch Marner did throughout the remainder of that game. He saw it getting more and more physical as the third period went on, and Mitch just said, fuck this, I've got no interest. I will stand out here at the perimeter. I will not get myself to the middle of the ice. There was one play I almost jumped through the TV. My girlfriend probably was wondering what the fuck was wrong with this guy, because I snapped up off the couch watching him going, what the hell is wrong with you? What are you doing? Because the puck bounces 2 feet behind him towards the boards. He sees a Panthers player coming to hit him and just stops. Full-blown stops in his tracks. And I went, that is playoff Mitch Marner. That is the guy who does not have the testicles to go into the spots that is physical and dirty and is not willing to take the hit to make the play. Mitch, in that moment, just, I saw it from him. I saw him do that, and I just went, there he is. That's the guy that we criticize. That's the guy that we call out. That's the guy that we get pissed off about time and time again. Because that moment was Mitch Marner saying to you, I put up points throughout all of this, but nothing's really been this physical. So if we're going to play this game, I don't really have any interest, but thanks for having me. And that's the guy who wants $14 million fucking dollars in the offseason. And that's where my brain explodes watching that. That moment when that happened was just infuriating. Infuriating. Where it was like, there it is again. How? Over and over and over again. How? That is why I came on here so hot tonight. That is why I came on so frustrated with everything that happened, with everything that was going on. And as the next super chat here from Maxentius Decimus points out, I got PTSD flashbacks from the 9 years of 34/16. Like I was in Vietnam. That's the point. Like, in a one-off situation, in a one-off game, I get it. Like, I get it if it's just one game that this has happened. Or if it's like, he's had this happen once or twice. The difference for me is that this is now the 9th year. 9th year of this guy doing that. 6 1/3 says, so Zack thinks Mitch should not avoid getting pasted. Huh? I'm just going to be honest. That is a stupid fucking comment. Seriously. That's a stupid fucking comment. It's like these guys this guy has zero interest in going and getting involved in physical play at all. He's got to stay away from physicality. He's got to stay away from scrums. He won't go in the corner. He won't go on the wall. He won't take a hit to make a play. And you saw him pull shoot on that one where he could have easily gotten the puck back. And we've got people fucking walking around here in this fan base being like, oh, but Mitchie had 100 points. Fuck off with your 100 points in the regular season. When the going gets tough, the tough get going, and Mitch doesn't get going. Honestly, fuck him. Yeah, take the hit and get injured 6 1/3. I don't give a fuck anymore at that point. It shows people that you are going to go in there and take the hit to make a play. He just won't. Like, Everyone gets on Willie for that one play in the Tampa series where he wouldn't get in there and go after the puck in the corner. And he deserved the criticism. And then you watch that. Watch that play, and it's like, well, it's Mitch. Mitch gets 102 points. You gotta let him be. Fuck off. How can we seriously be talking about this, watching these guys disappear like that over and over and over again, and be like, oh, well, you don't want him to get hurt. Oh, fuck off. Watch the guys on the Panthers. Watch Barkov, Tkachuk, Bennett, Reinhart. Go through the entire list of guys on that Panthers team, on the Lightning team. They're willing to take the hit to make the play. They're willing to go into the board battle. He is not. Unreal. I just can't believe we're in year 9 watching these guys just not like, and they have not done it to this point. And we're like, I don't want him to get hurt. I don't know. You're watching the wrong sport then. We did hit 145 likes. Here's for the second 50. Oh my God. What? Xander, cope harder. Have respect for the team that beat you after a 3-1 series lead. What? I don't know. Banana Cowbone, on a happy note, I really enjoy my Ninja Crispy. Well, I'm glad. Donald Chisholm, Super Chat. This is a frustrating one here tonight, guys. Donald Chisholm, if Mitch's game isn't suited for no time and space, then they cannot make him the highest paid winger in the sport. Cup winners find a way through it. Yeah, Donald, that's my point. Like, that's my pushback on Rosie. I get what he's saying. I get why he's saying what Rosie is saying about how tight the game is and how hard it is to play through, and giving the Panthers credit. I give them full credit. That was an unreal game. My point on the other side of it is just like, that's how the Panthers are going to play in Game 5, in Game 6, in Game 7 if you get there. That's how the next round will be played if you get there. Like, these teams are not going to just let off the gas. I don't think the Panthers had their best games in Game 1, in Game 2, in Game 3. You saw it at moments, you saw it at times, and we saw the Leafs push back and respond to things. But the thing for me in all of it is that was the Panthers executing their game plan to perfection. That was the Panthers imposing their will. That was the Panthers saying, this is how we play, this is how we're going to play, and we finally reached where we need to be. And the Leafs did not have an answer for it. They could not find their way through. And if you can't, then at that point, you might just have to say, fuck it. We're out. At that point, you might just have to look at them and just be like, these aren't the guys to do it. These aren't the guys to put you over the top. Tony Van Dinther, Matthews, the only player to skip practice today. Yeah, he was. And as it was pointed out in the last time Matthews skipped practice, they were also shut out. That was the 4-0 game against the Sens. KPG, Matthews is the Hercules of hockey. His power disappears with his hair. Oh, we're taking daggers at old players now. Jeez. And I guess I have for a lot of tonight here as well. Ian Drawn. Ian, thank you for watching the show here tonight. Ian coming over from the Daily Face-Off channel. I am glad you're enjoying the show here tonight. I'm glad you find it entertaining. Thank you for the support, Ian. Iskatsi, who, by the way, I think was originally So Sangnam, and then next up, Mitch Marner's Vulva. Iskatsi says, the Leafs are almost good enough because they almost have that killer instinct, and they almost stand up for each other enough as a team. Almost. You know what? This is a good question here in the chat. I'll get back to Super Chats in a second. We'll do the smelling salts for 150. Earl fan, I think this is a good question from him. Zack, were the Panthers playing Panthers hockey, or were the Leafs were just lazy? So I think it's hard to say this without taking credit away from the Panthers, because I think that was Panthers hockey. I think that was the game they've been looking for through the first 4. I think that was where they've been trying to build through after games 1 through 3, and they were trying to get to this point. So I think that was Panthers hockey. But I don't know if it's laziness. It was like, fuck it. And I guess the word's lazy. There was laziness from the Leafs. There was just like, it was just not, yeah, Leafs not lazy, they scared, B40 says. And I know B40's been in the chat chirping the Leafs and Leafs fans all night. So I'm not trying to give him too much credit here, the scumbag. But the point is that it just felt like, that's the word, Diz K, gutless hockey. It felt like gutless hockey from these guys, and specifically your top 6, where it was like not getting to the middle of the ice, you were forced outside all night, and you did nothing about it. And I know the Panthers aren't just going to give you opportunities, but like, you can, if you are that good, you can get to the middle of the ice. You can get to the middle of the ice. You can create those chances. Are you the best players in the world? Why should you be the highest paid players in the world? Well, if you believe that, if you think you're the best players, you need to find ways to show up in these games. And they don't. They don't. They fall short in so many of these opportunities. This was another one again tonight where it's just like, that, what you've been looking for from these guys, you did not have it. I don't know what this Xander guy in the chat is going on about. 1967 just sending over and over again. Who are you a fan of? What do we do? You didn't even say anything else here other than that random ass comment earlier about 3-1 series lead or whatever the fuck you were talking about. Now you're just spamming 1967. We get it, dude. That's why we're so mad, Xander. That's why Leafs fans are so pissed, Xander. Like, you think we have this pent-up anger for the fun of it? Do you think we haven't won shit ever? Fuck. What are we, like, what? No fuck. Yeah, 1967 is drilled in my brain. No shit, I'm pissed off about this fucking shit. Fuck. Xander. Fuck. Anyways. Back to the chat. Ian Drawn, Zack, I watched the highlights, missed the game. How much of this game was a goalie duel? Seemed like both goalies played on their heads. The Leafs did generate 2.61 expected goals in this game tonight. So, what I would say is that the heavier workload was put on Joseph Woll. I do think that honestly, like, Bob played a really, really, really good game. So I'm trying to think of how I'm trying to get to this point that I'm going to make here. I think Bob played a really, really good game. What I would say is goalie duel is, I think Joseph Woll had the much more difficult workload. I thought he played an unbelievable game tonight. He's the only reason this team had a shot, especially into the third period. They're only down 1-0. Like, I think that he played awesome. I think that he deserves all the credit. On the other side, this is where I would go with Bob. He was dialed in on the chances that he was forced to make, but I don't think the Leafs put enough pressure on him. Those are the words I was looking for, how to try to answer that question there, Ian. Talking about the goalie duel and the two going back and forth. Bob was dialed in. Bob was unreal here tonight, but I don't think he had to face as difficult of a workload in this game tonight. But I do think he played fucking awesome. So I'll give him the credit. And as pointed out there, we had 9 shots after 2 periods. Yeah, there was 9 shots after 2 periods. So it's 23 saves that ultimately he ends up having to make. Anyways, back to it. Okay, what else do we got? We got a bunch of shit to close this thing out. 150 likes. 150 likes. Also, by the way, this is how you know I'm gonna throw it back on him, because I'm in a fucking scrappy mood here tonight on the post-game show. This is how you know that pigeon Mario Kart hasn't been paying attention or watching, because if he was, he would have noticed I did the deserve to win a meter and actually brought it up twice on the show tonight. But this pigeon is not watching. So don't call me a pigeon asking me for the deserve to win a meter. I already gave it. 150 likes on the post game. 200. We'll do smelling salts again. All right. These things are literally called bottled insanity. There you go. Oh, all right. That one hit me hard. B40, I gave you a like, even though you called me a scumbag. Thank you for the like. B40, look, this is what I'll say. It's my eyes literally watering. I don't care what team you're a fan of. I don't care if you're coming here to troll. Like, I personally don't care. Other people in the chat might get mad about it. Other people in the chat might not like it. Whatever. That's their prerogative. I get it. No issue. You don't want other people to come here. That's what it is. I don't care. B40 was at least saying some sensible shit where I'm like, I'm a Leafs fan. Fuck you, scumbag, but do what you gotta do. The Xander guy comes in here. He's just spamming 1967. It's like, all right, come on. This guy can't even think of anything to say here. You think I'm not pissed off about 1967? Fuck. Anyways, keep liking the stream. I got more super chats to get to before I can close out the show tonight. This has been a long one, an hour 30 here already as well. I just want to point out, I missed it. I got to meet the other day at Greta after game 2, walking through during the show. Someone who watches the show and came up to me, told me that she moved here from Germany and has been watching the show, and she works at Scotiabank Arena, and this is basically how she learned about hockey. Went up and talked to Rosie as well. It was a really cool experience getting to meet somebody and have them tell you that, because then I also laugh, and I'm like, I appreciate that, but I'm just thinking about like a show like this where I come on here and my brain just fucking explodes, and then I'm just thinking about her and how nice she was, and her being like, I'm learning hockey from watching you, and I'm like, wow, oh god, all right. But I appreciate that regardless, and I saw her in the chat here. We did get to meet her at Greta the other day. Go Leafs go, she said. Nate 92. Excuse me. Well, Rosie's gone. Sorry, Nate. Ask Rosie why Matthews only had 1 goal versus Boston twice, 0 versus Florida, 1 versus Montreal. Always injured? Nate, fair point, brother. I'm not going to dispute you on that. Iskatsi says, Rosie is right. Let's go. Series is still over, though. Yeah. I it's hard to call it over, in all seriousness. But that's one of those ones that scares you, especially as a Leafs fan, where it feels like that's the one that woke up Bob. That's the one that gives the Panthers that life, that hope. And you hope things are different from a Leafs side of things, a Leafs perspective. But that's the game in years past that feels very much like it shuts down 34-16, where they just, all the goodwill they've built up throughout the playoffs to this point, they both kind of just go, eh. Ooh, that was tough. That was physical. Maybe not for me. And then it's just like they disappear from the series. That's it for the rest of it. Those are the ones that scare me in a game like that, where, you know, I don't know that it's appropriate to say that it's over, but being in that position and knowing the history of these guys, that's what makes you just feel really uncomfortable in a game like that. Amanda Medeiros, I don't know how it benefits Vegas for Leafs to win. They will be underdogs every game. I'll just say a quick side note on gambling and stuff. None of this, there's no like the sports books or rigging and none of that. It's not the case. It's just not. Sorry, Amanda. I appreciate the super chat, but it's just not the case. Benadil. Another Oscar performance from Rodriguez. Yes, it was a blindside, but barely a nudge. Broke crying like a peewee kid looking for attention. I will say, given the way he reacted, I thought his head got absolutely popped. I can't imagine it felt very good, but I think you could probably get an idea for why the refs were a little bit more quick to call the embellishment penalty in the last game. Maxentius Decimus goalie duel. Shots were like 27-5. What even? Yeah, shots were 27-5, Maxentius, but the point, I think, is 2.61 expected for the Leafs, 3.42 expected for the Panthers. So the expected or the high danger chances or whatever, we're not that far off from each other in all situations. Yeah, I don't know. Also, Maurice, not a fan of the Domi hit. Panthers coach, the league looks, he says, oh shit. I think the league looks at those things, especially at that point of the game, and they'll do their job. If that's a suspension, like whatever, losing Domi, if that ends up being the case, it's not gonna like kill you. It's not like losing Nazem Kadri. It's not like losing. If you were to lose one of the big boys here in this one or one of your defensemen, it's not like that. And then the replacement that goes in being that far off in the drop. But I'm reading the chat. There is some nuts shit going on here right now. I don't even know. But what I would say is, if that's going to get suspended, unreal. Like, if that's the one they choose to put their foot down on, holy shit. I can't imagine they get one for that. By the way, this is what always blows my mind. Like Panthers fans chanting USA at the end of that game. Canes, Dolphin, Panthers, 305. Fuck Toronto. Canadians will never have American talent. Do you want to run through the players on their team? Reinhardt, where do you think he's from? Bennett, where's he from? Marchand, Ekblad. Just wondering. Where are those guys from? Anyways. Look at these guys. The Panthers brigade is out. Out in full force. Just going nuts here, spamming L's in the post-game chat. Akuma's deception, I'm American, but that is ridiculous. Look at these Panthers fans in here, man. This unreal. The Panthers fans are coming in here like crazy, just spamming L's. All right, anyways, we got more stuff to get to here on the post-game. That's all that we had for the Super Chats here for tonight. $100 raised so far, over $100 raised so far for Sick Kids Charity. We are at 183 likes. If you haven't hit that like button already, get that like button. Hit subscribe here to the channel, Leaf Station 401. I saw someone say, who was it? KN Gantham, KNG Anthem says, don't turn on subscribers only. I'm not subscribed. Well, everybody who's watching right now should be subscribed. Leaf Station 401, hit that like button. Subscribe to the channel. Turn on notifications. All that kind of stuff. Look at these fans. This is nuts. I've never had this on the post-game show before. Unreal. Like, it's pretty incredible. These Panthers fans in the chat here right now just spamming L's. You know, you hear them in the arena yelling for penalties. You'd think that they wouldn't even, like, it's pretty amazing. Like, they yell for penalties as if they know what they are. These people are just looking for an excuse not to do crack, so they head to the game. And then spam L's in the chat. I don't even know what to do about this. Anyways. Oh, hold on. Here you go. There you go. All right, a few more things left to do here. If you haven't already, hit that like button, subscribe to the channel. Let's get it up to 200 likes here on the post-game show. I appreciate you guys for watching. Those of you who stuck this out, I had to take care of something for a second there. So, subscribe to the channel. That was me who had to figure that one out. I couldn't remember where the button was, but subscribe to the channel. Let's get to some of our segments here to close things out. Let's get to our, I don't even know where I'm trying to go with this. What do I want to do? Let's go to our best bet for tonight. Bet365. Want to get in on the action for Stanley Cup playoffs at Bet365? They've got you from game props, player props, totals, and the money line. You can even bet on futures like series winners, conference champions, the Stanley Cup champions, and much, much more. Whatever your bet is, it's never ordinary at Bet365. Download the app and get in on the game. An official partner of the Stanley Cup playoffs. Must be 19 or older. Ontario only. Please play responsibly. If you or someone you know has a gambling problem, visit connectsontario.ca. Best bet tonight, lost. We went with 2 anytime goal scorers. If nobody scores, it's pretty hard to win. These ones end up losing us 3/4 of a unit here tonight in total. We lose $50, a half unit on the William Nylander anytime goal. We also lose 1/4 of a unit on Scott Lawton anytime goal, which brings our season total to $886 in profit. That would be 8.86 units in profit. Unfortunately, lose both of those. There's not really much else that I could say. There's really not much else I could say in terms of the best bets. Nobody scored. Nobody had an easy time here tonight. In fairness, the one guy that I'll give a lot of credit to was William Nylander. I thought that he looked pretty good. He looked pretty dangerous. I thought his legs were moving. I thought he was engaged. So I'll give him that credit. But, yeah, we had... oh, wait, not Scott Lawton, sorry. The Max Pacioretty was the other one. Patches just did not really put up anything that was very dangerous, but anyways, both lose. Tough bounce. We move forward. Ian Drawn says he had a core 4-point parlay. Yeah. Sorry, Ian. I'm sorry, Ian. Okay. What else do we got? Let's get to our grade. Actually, no. Let's get to our play of the game. Play of the game for me in this one here. I'm probably going to say play of the game I will give to the Simone Benoit hit on Reinhardt. That's one. I will also give... I'll just give like an honorable mention to Joseph Woll. I know they lose this game. I know he's in net for 2 goals. I know it's 2-0 loss. Joseph Woll can't score goals for this team. Made huge saves. Made them when he had to. Kept this team in it. He's really the only reason that they had a chance at all in this one here tonight. I thought Joe Woll was really, really, really fucking good, and he responded from that letdown game that he had the other night, which is unfortunate to look at here now, because if he played a little bit better, then they probably win Game 3, and you're talking about a 3-1 series lead, but Joe Woll was unreal in this game tonight, and I wanted to give him credit. Producer Vic's play of the game is Benoit hit on Reinhardt. Producer Vic, you are about 45 seconds late to my play of the game that I handed out, because that was my first one. The honorable mention for this just goes to Joseph Woll as a whole. What else do we got here to wrap up tonight? Grade of the game, but I'm just trying to see if there's anything else. And we got to all of our super chats here tonight. Answered every single one of those that had come in, so thank you guys all for sending those super chats. Earl fan, we are lucky, Zach. If we had a split in Toronto and heading to Florida, we'd be down 3-1 in the series. Okay, fair. All right. As we wrap this thing up, we're 5 likes away from 200. Hit the like button. Let's subscribe here to the channel. I want to get this thing up to 17,000 subscribers as soon as possible. Also, just a quick note, because we turned subscriber only mode on here for this. I'm 100% with Max Entius. Like B40 subscribed here to the channel. Respects to B40. Respects to anybody else who's here to troll the Leafs, but subscribed and is in here. I don't give a shit. If you want to chirp the Leafs, go ahead. Chirp the Leafs, do whatever you got to do. It's a free game. I will throw my shots at other people, and other fan bases and other teams. I'll do it myself. So if you're willing to give it, you got to be willing to take it. I got no issue. I will not stand for people spamming chat. Like, just coming in here and sending 400 L's in a row. Like, come on, guys. You gotta grow up. Seriously. Like, what are we, 5 years old, coming in here into the chat and just spamming that kind of stuff? Like, these are kids. This is, you know who's coming in here and doing that in the post game and spamming L's? Is the Panthers fans with TikTok haircuts that they're showing in the crowd, who are flying to YouTube after to spam a Leafs show. Like, I really don't give a shit about people coming here and chirping. You don't like the team, you don't like me, you don't like the fans, go for it. Say what you got to say. I really don't care. For me, I don't care. Spamming just ruins the chat. Like, this is a chat show. I love hearing what people have to say. I love hearing from fans. I love you guys giving your input, agreeing with me, disagreeing with me. I don't care. But if you come in here and you spam the chat, like, it ruins the chat. I can't read what people are saying. I can't read, I cannot read what people are feeling, thinking, none of it. It just ruins it. So just don't. Like, that's childish stuff to be doing that. Chirp all you want. Don't spam the chat. This shit's so annoying. Sorry. Let's get to our grade of the game. And our grade of the game is presented by Greta Bar YYZ, where we will be back on Wednesday for Game 5. Bring back the good vibes at Greta Bar YYZ. Segment is brought to you by our friends at Greta Bar. Great spot before, during, and after the game. Come join us on Wednesday as well, by the way. 590 King Street West, downtown Toronto. Check out the great street food menu and games in the arcade. Weekly drink specials. Greta Bar is the place to be. 590 King Street West, Greta Bar. Let the games begin. Again, just a quick reminder, Greta Bar, Wednesday game. For the pregame and postgame, myself, Nick Alberga, and producer Vic will be at Greta Bar. Game 5, 6, and 7. We are 2-0 at Greta Bar at this point in the season, or in this series. So 0-2 at home, 2-0 at Greta, and we will be back at Greta for 5, 6, and 7. That's where we will be. If you want to come hang with the boys, that's where we'll be. If you want to spam Fs in the chat now, that's fine with me. You have power to. Not going to ban you. None of that. Go ahead. I'm reading the chat. 100% grade F. Did you guys see that fucking Oilers game yesterday? That was grade F, as in, fuck, that game sucked. That comes from Ken Gantham. I don't even know if Ken knows where he is right now. We're in a Leafs chat, Ken. It's an F for me here tonight. Producer Vic says F. He says games 5 and 6 will be there. That's right. Leafs in 6. I mean, I'm trying to think about any way to expand on this. It's an F. 0 for 3 on the power play. Kudos to the penalty kill. You were 5 for 6. You almost got through all the penalties that you took in the first period. I agree with Rosie. There were penalties. The only one that annoyed me a little bit was the McMahon one. I thought that was enough to not, like, to be borderline. I thought it was enough to be like, well, the Panthers would get away with that, so you can too. This is an F. The core doesn't show up. Like, you look at these guys. Matthews missing the net like crazy again here tonight. He ends up having 3 shots on goal. Mitch Marner ends up with 0 goals, 0 assists, even plus minus, 0 shots on goal. Like, what are we doing? You want to be paid $14 million. I get that the game tightens up, but you need to find a way to make an impact if you want to be that impactful of a player. John Tavares, 5 shots on goal. William Nylander, 4 shots on goal. Matthews, 3. Nyes, 3. Like, Mitch just can't find a way to make an impact. He can't right now. Joe Hill. Hey Zach, how you doing, mate? Are you concerned with our buds, or are we still got this series? Belief. Joe, after game 3, I still believed. Not just because of the fact that they were up 2-1, but the way they played in that loss. Even the loss here tonight, if they played the right way, I think I would have felt more confident. But the honest answer, Joe, is this made me feel sick to my stomach tonight and made me feel like I was having flashbacks to years past. So that's the honest answer. Is that the way to think about it in my brain and going forward in the logical way? Maybe not. And maybe tomorrow morning I don't feel like that. But right now, in my gut and in my heart, it feels like this team, it's put me in a doomsday kind of mode. Another super chat. Maxentius Decimus. Can we say a prayer tonight that AM34 can hit the net? Everybody, if you're religious or not, say a prayer that AM34 can hit the nets. F grade from me. That's the end grade. We did hit 200 likes. Thank you for liking. Thanks to everyone who subscribed. 200 likes here on the post game. Big numbers. Let's get to 17,000 subscribers. But 200 likes. Final thing I'll say. This is the final counter to kind of what Rosie had said. What was the score of the Jets game today? 5-2 Dallas. They have Vezina/Hart caliber goaltender supposedly in net for Winnipeg. They are a really, really good, tight defensive hockey team. They are a physical, heavy hockey team in Winnipeg. And yet, Mikko Rantanen, a goal and 2 assists. Rupe Hintz, a goal and an assist. Jamie Benn, an assist. Sam Steele, 2 assists. Thomas Harley, a goal and an assist. So why is it that the other star players can find a way? That's my issue. That's where I get frustrated. Those are superstars, and they show up. Why can't the Leafs? Why can't the Leafs? That is what kills me. All right. That'll do it for us here on the post-game show. Thanks for liking, commenting, subscribing, sending super chats, all of it. $100, over $100, sorry, raised here tonight. Proceeds going to Sick Kids Charity. Thanks for all the support. Let's get to 17,000 subscribers. The boys are back tomorrow morning, 11 a.m. Eastern, live from Sunrise, Florida. Nick Alberga, Carter Hutton. I'll be breaking it all down. It's time to show up in Game 5. I just can't even believe. I can believe, but I can't believe we're here talking about this again. Thank you all for watching here. Thank you for the support. Thank you for the super chats, likes, comments. That's going to do it for me. The next time I see you guys will be Wednesday night, live from Greta Bar YYZ for the pregame show, and then we'll follow it up with the Leafs Nation After Dark following the game, live from Greta there as well. 2-0 at Greta, so make of that what you will. thank you, Leafs Nation, for watching here tonight. Thank you to those of you who are not fans and still showed up. Ian Drawn, see you in the morning. Thank you to anyone from Daily Faceoff channel who came over here to watch and support. Thanks to anybody who's new to the channel, all of that. Marty West said, hang in there. Thank you. Thanks for watching. Thanks for subscribing. I'll see you guys back here on Wednesday. Until then, try your best. Get a good sleep tonight. Let's sleep this one off. Let's relax if we can. Let's not grip our sticks and stare at the ceiling and count the popcorn until Wednesday. Let's not do that. Let's live our lives. Let's get out in the sun, refresh, reset. We'll be back on Wednesday. Try your best. Keep believing. For more content just like this, including game previews, post-game live shows, Leafs Morning Take Monday through Friday with Nick Alberga and Jay Rosehill with special guests, as well as instant reaction videos, make sure to be subscribed here to the Leafs Nation YouTube channel. Turn on notifications so you don't miss anything, and drop a like.